Hello. Some of you may know me. I was recently asked by two idiots to say a few words on their behalf. So, here goes. They're raw, unrefined, definitely rough around the edges. Apparently, they're all you're gonna need for the next 2 hours. Really?
Hey, yeah, hi, my name's Andre, and welcome to the program set to create that barbershop chat atmosphere as four guys from two different countries put aside their own projects and get together to shoot the breeze and talk about whatever we feel like. For me, one of the interesting aspects of this show will be to explore how we view subjects differently based on our upbringing and experiences. How much common ground will we really have between us just because we're black? Consider we live what, 4,000 miles apart? Stay locked to find out the answers to these questions and many more. Welcome to Something for the Weekend. Yeah, you put four resolute guys from two different countries into one room, drop some thought-provoking subjects, and what have you got? Let's find out. From the USA, we have a guy with over 750,000 records streamed and sold worldwide. 2 number one UK soul albums under his belt, 11 consecutive top 20 UK and US indie soul hits. Yeah, a number one in Amazon, a number one independent soul album in the West Indies, a number one on the US urban influencer R&B soul charts. I could go on, but we've got a show to do. So yeah, without further ado, it's the one, it's the only, it's Babe Right.
Hey, what's up? What's up, world? Something for the weekend. Andre, what's good? It's Babe
Yeah.
Bright. What's happening, man?
So did you like that intro?
Oh man, that intro was great, man. But let me let the folks know just a little bit more. I'm Babe Bright, the bad boy indie soul, smooth talker, native New Yorker, entrepreneur, author, musician, on a mission to spread love and wisdom worldwide, baby. Something for the weekend. What's good?
Damn, I was going to ask you to describe yourself, but
There it is, brother. I
think you've already done that. So just very quickly, I know you receive a lot of love here in the UK. So any plans to come over?
Yeah, man. Right now, I'm tightening up, getting my band, my live sound together, man. I'm waiting for the talent buyers in the UK, man. It's time, the pandemic, it ebbs and flows as we know from
Sure.
across the pond here. But 2022, man, I'm just waiting. I'm ready to get busy, man. The UK has been fantastic. I want to thank everybody in the UK so much on that soul scene, man. Y'all been showing me a lot of love. You read off some of the accolades, and I really appreciate all the love and the response from the UK and around the world. Thank you guys so much. Definitely looking forward to getting there in 2022.
Great stuff. Yeah, and thanks for coming on the show. So
Yes,
also let's go with us in the UK. We have my close friend and sparring partner. We've got the man they call Easy.
Good evening, everybody. How we doing here and in the US?
Yeah, for sure. So far,
What's up, Easy?
so good.
Hey, babe, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. What's happening, man?
I'm alive.
Yes, sir.
That would help, man. That would help.
Exactly, yeah.
Isn't it?
You know,
Look,
it's not a
Easy, I know
seance.
you've been in the entertainment business. You've also got your fingers in a few pies, yeah. But apart from that, you know, I hear that you're part of this incredible program everyone's talking about. What's it called? The Juxtaposition Debate, bro. Before you look a bit puzzled there. So yeah, tell us a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit about it, man.
The Juxtaposition Debate or something for the weekend? Which one?
The Juxtaposition Debate.
Okay, the Juxtaposition Debate came about when you, in your lack of sleep, decided to text me at 6:30 in the morning.
Okay.
To ask me if I want to do a show with you. And I, half asleep, I replied, yeah. Didn't even think about this, but yeah, no problem. Then I woke up and started cussing myself. Looked in the mirror and started cursing myself out and saying, what are you thinking? Didn't give it any thought, nothing. So we've done this. This is what, 19? 2019, wasn't it? Yeah, September 2019. And it's gone on from strength to strength. We've got listeners in the US, Hawaii.
September 2019 or September 2020?
Was it September 2020? You're right. Sorry, September 2020. Yeah. Apologies. Yeah, September 2020. And we've got listeners in Italy, Gibraltar, Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, just to name a few. You know,
okay.
Just amazing. It's amazing.
All right. Won't bother to get you to explain the program. Those who listen to JXP should know, and those who don't know, hopefully at some stage they will tune in. But before we quickly bring in Big T, so I don't want him waiting out there. Just quickly tell us about the name of this show and where it derives from, basically.
Right. Okay. So the show is called Something for the Weekend. Now, back in the day, barbershops here. As the barber was, it would get the brush and he'd be brushing the loose hair off your neck and what have you, taking the drape off of you, and he would just politely say, "Would you like something for the weekend, sir?" So what he meant by that was he was politely asking you if you would like to purchase condoms, prophylactics, rubbers, whatever you want to call them, you know, just in case your haircut, you know, gives you that luck. So we are this evening's Something for the Weekend.
For sure. So we're saying where the prophylactics are? Is that what
I can't speak for you. You know, I'm not going to. I can speak for myself.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't want to keep my man waiting out there. So yeah, last but by no means least, we have Big T from the USA. Yo,
what's up, everybody? How y'all doing today, man? I guess they say it's true. They always save the best for last. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You're breaking up, mate. Say that again. With your foolishness already.
Oh, man.
That's Big T. That's two. What's up, man? What's up?
No, that's actually three.
Oh man. So yeah, T, tell the people what you do, my brother. Tell them.
Oh man, I have multifaceted items under my belt, but I'm mostly renowned as a great storyteller, podcast host, and content creator.
For sure. So you're gonna mention your podcast?
Oh yeah, my podcast. I can't make this up. I can't with a K make this up podcast.
For sure. Okay, so yeah, those listeners, check it out. So apart from that, what about voiceovers? You got that low mysterious thing going on. Do you do voiceovers?
Oh, welcome to the smooth jazz section, everybody.
Okay.
With your host, Big T.
Indeed. All right, look, something I've been meaning to ask you. Look, during one of our JXP programs, I think it was How to Treat a Lady. Anyway, you wrote and revealed that you do or have done massages. And you said that, you were so good that sometimes some of your clients wanted sex. So I want to know, is that true?
It wasn't sometimes, it was half of the times.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question, man. I gotta ask this question, yeah. And the question is, did they ask you outright, or did the bulge in their shorts give them away?
You know what, Andre, you beat me. Andre, you beat me to it. I was gonna.
Yeah, we know we think alike, Easy. You know we think alike.
Andre, that's two.
Oh man.
Never had a male client.
That you know of.
All right, man. Okay. All right. All right. So, what about? Do you massage what feet and toes and all that stuff as well?
If requested. Most women have sensitive feet, so they really don't like most guys touching their feet, but everything else is you can loosen up pretty good. So
All right.
yeah.
So I guess the last question I've got is do you have any stories that you can or want to share with us on? I'm assuming you must have a few. Is there nothing you can tell us?
Massage stories? No.
Nothing.
All right, then my only other question then is, can you teach me, brother?
I'll create you a video and send you the link. How about that?
That's a video I do not want to see. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So look, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the first time we've really got together as a whole group. So it's going to be interesting to see how we all gel. So far, looks like it's going to be pretty good. But I've assumed that we're all going to get on well based on nothing more really than the fact that we're black. But coming from different backgrounds, different countries, different backgrounds maybe, there's bound to be a lot of differences between us. So I thought we start off by talking about those differences.
Hey, Dre, I thought you guys were Negroes over there in the UK.
Oh,
say what?
Oh,
I didn't know. Great. I thought they just said Negro over there. Well, we're black over here, Black American.
Has it migrated over there yet? That's
yeah, exactly.
Easy, you look like a Negro, man. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's an ouch. That's an ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
Right. Well, we're gonna get onto that subject pretty soon anyway. But for now, we're going to be talking about some of the differences. So I want to ask this question, and it's a pretty basic question, right? But jaywalking. I know you guys got this thing about jaywalking. So my first question is, why is it called jaywalking? Anyone tell me?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Okay.
Never really thought of it before.
Other
than
they
do give out citations, but no, I don't know the history about jaywalking.
If I'm not mistaken, I once read a scholar, I believe his name was Calvin Brodus, aka Snoop Dogg, is that a man was crossing the street with a doobie or a joint in his hand by not paying attention at oncoming traffic. Hence the term jaywalking.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, come on. Okay. All right. But that's going to lead on to my proper question. And that is, why is jaywalking such a big thing out there in the US of A, yeah? Here in the UK, yeah? I'm on this side of the road. I want to get on that side of the road. I look left. I look right. I look left again. If it's clear, I cross the road. If it's not, I start the process again. Here, we learn that from a young age. It's called the Green Cross Code. That's what it's called here.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, over there, you guys aren't old enough to well, you're old enough to fight for your country, but you're not old enough to cross the road on your own.
Yeah.
Am I right? I've never been to the USA, so if I'm wrong, tell me. But am I right in saying that it's against the law? You guys aren't allowed to cross the road without somebody holding your hand or without the lights or something?
Bay, I'm gonna let you take that one.
Well, that's a funny question. No, Dre. The bottom line is, it's probably just a money scam. The states, we're always trying to tax people, man. I guess when we came, the founding fathers, when they came from Britain, they wanted to put all their little laws in the mix. So bottom line,
when they came from Britain.
Yeah, well, the whole taxation thing. But so, the bottom line is jaywalking is some mysterious thing that happens here. If you can get away with it, you can get away with it. But every now and again, the police will flag you down. But I haven't been caught in quite some time. So
I love that. I love what you're saying there. I haven't been caught crossing the road on my own.
Yeah.
I keep my head on the swivel.
It's dangerous out there, bro. All right. Okay. I know that I'm going to ask you guys the same question, but because that went a bit swiftly, I want to ask another question that's really pretty similar to the jaywalking question. And again, I've never been to the US, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that there's loads of roads out there without pavements. Is that correct?
I don't know
'cause
about loads, but you know.
Yeah, I'm assuming you mean country roads, and
I'm just talking about
country
roads,
varies.
man. I mean, over here, you got a road, you got a pavement. It just makes sense. If you got a road and you're driving, it makes sense that people who aren't driving have a pavement, or what do you guys call it? Walk. What do they call it over there? Walkway. What do
Driveway.
they call it?
Like a
Easy.
walkway, driveway.
Oh, you mean sidewalks?
Sidewalks. That's it. Sidewalks. Yeah.
Okay, that accent got to go.
Sorry, man. Sorry, my buddy. But yeah. So you guys have got roads without sidewalks, and then on top of that, if you're caught walking in the roads, you get fined. So that just don't make no sense to me. So I must be missing something. I'm not sure what it is, but I must be missing something.
Have you been arrested for walking on the side off the sidewalk? I'm not.
No,
really sure.
No.
That's madness. You can't get arrested for crossing the road over here, bro. We're big people. They allow us to do that.
Yeah.
So
even though we're Negroes, babe.
So in
clearing that up.
in cases where people are walking in rural areas where it's been deemed dangerous, I've heard of that, but it's very rare. The only thing crazy like that I heard of is when someone's trying to walk down a major highway with a lot of vehicles coming, they can be ticketed for endangerment or something like that.
Okay. Hi, Esther. Yeah, just want to say that. Yeah. Okay. Damn. So, but yeah, it just strikes me as strange, man. Them able to fight for their country, but not allowed to cross their road on their road. Amazing.
Wow.
So yeah. So talk to me. What have you guys got that you think's different about UK to US? Because really, that's really what we're starting off with. What are the differences between us and you guys? So yeah, who's gonna go first?
All right, I'll start it off. I mean, we touched on this backstage a while. I have a real issue with the breakfast. Why does the UK eat beans for breakfast? I don't get that. Now, beans, we eat that with hot dogs if we're at a cookout or on later in the day. But I see that the English breakfast, when I was over in the UK, every time it was beans, and I'm like, well, why are we having so many beans so early in the morning? That's not really good for your system early in the morning. and then back bacon. I don't know what that is. I mean, I went over there, and we have bacon strips, but can you guys tell me what's up with the back bacon and the beans for breakfast? We don't do that over here. Anybody want to try to tackle that one for me?
Okay, babe, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many of these English breakfasts do you have?
One actually, because after the first one, I was eating fish and chips. After that,
wait. Fish and chips for breakfast.
I couldn't eat the rest of it.
It's safer, apparently. That's what it is.
Safer. I mean, my American system and palate just didn't agree. I mean, I'm sorry. I love it. I love it.
Whoa.
You got to be. We keep it real.
Whoa.
What's up with the back bacon?
Did you just use the word American and palate?
That's it, brother.
That's right. With the back bacon. I like that.
Isn't it?
Well, I have to admit, I don't eat the swine. I don't eat swine,
so I can't tell you. Yeah. I don't eat swine.
Well, you know what? But, so tell me, you know what? Maybe I might be playing myself here. Maybe it was more of a European. I was a part of different parts of London. I was in Kensington and London. That's what they had. So
hobnobbing.
Hobnobbing. Yeah, maybe I was in Notting
with the hoi polloi.
Notting Hill and those places.
Oh, that's not hobnobbing. That's not hobnobbing.
So tell me. I mean, that's what I was asking about. I want to know about the back bacon in the beans.
You know what? I can't like Andre says. I don't eat swine. I simply don't eat swine. Can't stand it. So,
but even so, I mean, beans. Yeah, I've grown up with it, so I don't really see the problem with having beans for breakfast. But more importantly, it's an option. It's an option. So I don't think it's something that you have to eat every morning.
Yeah. Did someone put a gun to your head when they said, you're taking these?
Well, that was all that was there. Everywhere I went.
Oh, yeah.
So
beans come with everything over there. You get chips and beans, you get soda and beans, you get beer and beans, you get everything.
Beer and beans,
Now, being my fellow American, is it traditional for you and your family to eat beans for breakfast on a regular?
No, not on a regular. But in saying that, I went to a hotel the few days back, and I have to admit, I had beans there for like 4 days, and every day, every day I had beans, man.
You know what?
The problem is now, every time I eat beans, I'm gonna be thinking about bait.
Yeah, Andre, you should keep
man.
that to yourself, Andre. Keep that to yourself.
Oh my God.
Okay, keep that bit to yourself.
Hey, look at that.
Hey,
Beans are
Roxanne.
full of
Okay,
protein.
Roxanne, I feel you.
Yeah, you see that? Beans are full of protein, fiber, and nutrients. Yep.
That was cute.
We're aware of what
Cute,
they
Roxanne.
do. It's the obsession. That's all.
So listen,
All right.
you guys.
So what do Americans have for breakfast then?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you know what they have?
Tell me.
Steak. My friend in Baltimore, when I was the times I've been out there with him, and we'd go out to have breakfast, and it would be for him steak and eggs.
What, for breakfast?
Yes,
For
yes,
breakfast.
yes.
So you just get up in the morning and
Yeah,
bang,
thank
you're on the steak.
And you eating dinner. You're eating dinner for breakfast. I'm having beans
Is it?
with some toast.
Yeah, exactly. Or we're having cornflakes or some kind of cereal
Yeah,
with milk.
or with cereal of some
And my
description.
man's on a steak
Yeah.
already.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you got to
Bring it-
remember what
Bring me
breakfast
the
is.
cow.
Breakfast
Remember what?
is the break from the fast from you sleeping. So technically, whatever meal you have is considered breakfast. You know.
Yeah, okay. Man's got to go into the
That's very
logistics now.
philosophical, right there. That's very philosophical.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but it doesn't break from the fact. But you can put it how you want. You guys wake up first thing in the morning and you're tucking into
Yeah.
a big old steak first.
Exactly.
in the
Yeah, you're
morning.
chomping on steak. Yeah.
Well,
Innit?
Hey.
I eat pancakes, I eat eggs, French toast.
Yeah, that's another thing. You
bacon,
guys eat pancakes. Do you guys eat pancakes and is it? Oh no, it's waffles, isn't it? Chicken and waffles.
chicken and waffles. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never had chicken and waffles myself, but everyone raves about it.
You know, like the
Esther,
steak and
beans,
eggs.
good for the heart. The more you eat,
The more you fart. Exactly.
the more you like it. Easy. Did you have to go there, bro? I was gonna
What?
find it out.
Yes, it's easy. Of course, he had to go there.
In it.
And
But
waffles,
yeah, I'm really not
waffles,
sure if-
waffles are not even American, are they?
I don't know.
You know what?
No, they're from Belgium.
They're from
Yeah.
Belgium, right?
Yeah, they're from Belgium. Yeah, they're from Belgium.
But I'm assuming
Yeah.
that Americans eat more waffles than Belgians do by now, though, bro.
We extract the best of every place and we incorporate it. That's what we try to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So explain baseball then, if you extract the best.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
I got nothing for that one.
Oh man, baseball is the great American sport. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But it's probably been eclipsed by American football. That's probably the most popular now. And then
Okay, so let me ask a question, guys.
Mhm.
How can you have a baseball World Series with one country? What happened to the other 190? What happened to the other 194 countries?
You got to take that up with the MLB, easy.
They're not here, bro.
But yeah, exactly. But you two gentlemen
you
are their
sit there, Walter.
representatives. Yeah, you two gentlemen are their representatives.
you know, well, we all kind of admit that America can be very egocentric. So I guess we consider ourselves the world power. So we just took the whole thing over. But you know what, Easy, you do make a good point, though. I can't lie about that. I like that.
And then you got something called the Baseball World Championship, okay? And the current champions are Japan.
That's a good point.
How does that one work?
We should have had a Japanese representative to talk about that one. I would defer. We got anybody from Tokyo? We got anybody from Tokyo in there on the chat?
Anybody in the comments, we'd appreciate. Hold
And you stole baseball from here, don't you?
Did they?
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was originally rounders
Oh, rounders are the little girls' game.
and cricket.
Rounders,
It's a combination of both rounders and cricket, and
yeah.
they have
Y'all
baseball.
stole football.
Did we?
Whoa!
Let's talk about it.
Did
Let's
we-
talk
no,
about it.
did we steal it?
No.
Did we steal it, or did they come over on those 3 boats?
But no, but see, those 3 boats are from Portugal.
Okay, but
BigT, you know what? Easy's talking about sports. You just made me. This wasn't on my list, but I'm going to go there. Why?
Okay.
You know what? Well, maybe this might backfire.
No, go. Go.
Hey, I'm going to say,
Live on the edge, T.
why do you
Live on the
call soccer football, but the rest of the world says it, and we're the only ones that say soccer.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't go there.
You just answered the question that you really.
You're right. You know what? I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. Why do you call American football? Football. No, actually, I must admit, I actually quite like American football.
Yeah, it's all right.
But you use your hands. You don't even use your feet.
The kicker does.
Yeah, it's true.
The one kicker. And how many times he come on? Twice.
He's a punter too, so two.
2 times. Okay. The 2 times.
Punter, kick. It's all the same, mate.
And you have the temerity to call what we know as football soccer. Really? Really?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's good branding over here. You got to think about it.
Good branding. Branding.
Oh, please. So yeah, T. Have you got any thoughts about the differences between UK and US?
I would like to, touch on the warm beer versus cold beer. I always found that interesting, and I never really heard anyone's take on the prefer of being warm compared to cold, like we sometimes enjoy over here in the States.
What do you enjoy over in the States? What, warm beer?
No,
cold beer.
Cold.
Oh, okay. So your question is what's the big deal? Why is it going to be cold? What's your question exactly?
No, I'm saying like guys over there in the pubs, they drink it warm if I'm not mistaken, and we drink it cold normally, right?
No.
Again, I don't drink, so I could care less.
I do drink, but I don't really drink beer, and I don't go to pubs.
Oh man, I thought you researched this, man. Come on.
No. But no, as far as I know, beer is something that's drank cold, and it comes from the barrel, and it comes from the barrel. Yeah, for being cold. I don't think anyone drinks warm beer. That's what do you guys call that? Fake news.
No, trust me, I can't make this up. Literally.
Did you come here and drink beer?
No, I've spoken to several people about this, and also I've seen plenty of movies where people like Americans would come over and they'd be like, let me have a beer, and they'd be like, oh, you mean a pint? And then they would question why it was warm, and then they'd be like, that's the way we drink it. So,
Oh, all right. Okay. Maybe it's not as cold as you guys have it in the USA. Maybe it's that, but it's definitely classed as cold over here. I've never had a beer, or in fact, and another thing as well, if I drink beer, it's normally in a bottle, and of course that's in the fridge or something like that. But we're talking about beer when they pull the pump, and as far as I know, those are kept downstairs in the cellar, and they're supposed to be cold. So that's a good point. But I don't know anyone who drinks warm beer.
Okay,
being honest, but still. Okay. Anyone want to bring up anything else? No. Okay.
Well, what I'm thinking about as I listen to you
want to bring up your breakfast there, B?
No, I'm thinking that there's a difference between the black UK folks and the white UK folks, because some of this, like what T is saying about the beer, I don't know if that's more of a Eurocentric and not so much of a black thing, as opposed, like even with the breakfast, you guys said you don't eat swine. I know some people can eat it, some people don't. It doesn't really matter about the nationality per se. But what I am starting to figure out is, I deal with a plethora of different background types in England, like white, black. I've seen some Indians out there. So my question and my thought process now is, it may break down by the race of what people eat as opposed to what they don't eat, how people interact. So that's something that I, would like to probably delve into more, not today per se, but going forward, because it seems to be some differences. It's not just a UK thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's probably broken down into different sections.
Well, that's deep. But I think the answer to that is that, yes, there are differences between, for instance, the average black person and the average white person in the UK. And I would say that probably stems from our upbringing. So our parents, black parents who came over to the UK, would have had a different mindset to the white people who all were already living in the UK. So that mindset would have been passed on to us. So even though we're born here, there are subtle differences. There's no doubt. Of course, there are a lot of things that we have in common, but yeah. And pork is probably an interesting one in the sense that, yeah, I don't eat pork. Easy doesn't eat pork, but on average, I'd say, yeah, most English people do.
Oh, okay.
Most,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
what's that Roxanne saying? Apparently, Brits enjoy drinking beer at ambient temperatures in order to savor the rich flavor notes of beer. Okay.
And that
So,
answers
yeah.
T's question.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah, yes, I can read too easy.
Roxanne taking.
T.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, there are probably subtle differences between people, even though they're born in the UK, based on their color, because based on their color or based on their upbringing. Would it not be the same in the US or?
Yeah, it would be. I mean, it's like if you look at Northerners and Southerners, people from the West Coast. I mean, so it's all about your background. And again, if you have a West Indian background, because black, every time just because we all look black, obviously we're not all homogenous. I mean, because again, if you're a Northerner, you're a Southerner. If you have a West Indian background, you have an African background. So or just like if you were just born straight. Like my family, there's no Caribbean, it's like we're from Africa originally, somewhere from one of the tribes. But the reality is, it was just from my vantage point, all my family was just bought here, and then we weren't bought from. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we were from.
Wow.
We came from Trinidad, or we came from, because I had a lot of friends that came from rather Jamaica, from Trinidad, but my family was like, oh, you came from Massachusetts, or you came from South Carolina, that kind of
right. Right.
So the differences would be just about, so my friends who were born in America, but their parents were born in Jamaica, the way their breakfast was different than mine, the way, their dialect was different than mine. So we, you don't know that until you really start to talk to them, because in America, we all seem black until you go to somebody's house. And then I heard my friend's family with an accent. And I was like, oh, it kind of threw me off because, again, me being Black American, I didn't know that my friend John his mom was from Jamaica. So, of course, he spoke a different dialect, a different tongue in his house.
For sure.
And he, so that's that. So to answer your question, Dre, is yeah, absolutely right. It goes across the board. Differences everywhere.
Okay, let me just quickly say, everything in London is already cool anyway, and that's from Starsky, and that's he's actually a barber in London. Yeah, he's actually a barber in London.
What's going on, Starsky?
For sure.
Where's Hutch?
But I think Bay, just very quickly again, you touched on something that I've mentioned quite a bit here in the UK. There's this thing where they talk about black people and we're not united and we should be united. And I've always questioned the fact that just because we're black, it's difficult to expect us all to unite just because of our color. Why? Because just like you said, some of us will have backgrounds that are totally different from each other. Whether it be that our parents might be from Africa or from the Caribbean or for whatever. And people assume, and not even assume, expect that we should all get on for no other reason than the color of our skin.
Right.
And I think that's probably an unrealistic expectation of black people.
No, definitely. I mean, the word I guess I use is monolithic. That's the word, we're all supposed to be monolithic. That's not true. I guess from an American standpoint, I always look at the plight of the Black American and the fact that we don't all think alike. I mean, you guys see the politics here, Democrat, Republican. Unfortunately, it's an economics. I always look at economics first and foremost, because to me, that's what moves the needle and the dial in all politics. So it's bigger than just Democrat, Republican, or whatever party you're from in the parliament over in the UK. It's about economics, and it's black people. Economics is the name of the game. But trying to get everybody on the same page is, I've stopped holding my breath that we can all see things that way. But for me, if I had to put my finger on something, I'd like to focus on economics first, group economics like other races. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I fully concur with that. And it's probably something that we can touch on in more depth in future programs if we have them, and I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure we will. But for now, I really want to touch on something else.
Okay, we'll leave you to it then. We'll leave you to it. We'll just shut our eyes or, talk amongst ourselves.
No, this is going to involve everybody. I want to
Okay.
talk about Bay and his book, How to Attract a Real Man. And I think real, there's an explanation for that, but I'll leave that to you. I was going to explain it, but I'll leave you to explain that. So I'm going to read out the text or the page very quickly, and then I'm going to let you I'm going to let you explain the context and what real man is. So it says, support his dreams, understand his vision. A real man worth having has a vision. He has a vision not only for himself, but for his children, his wife, and everything pertaining to the overall success of his life. His direction or life path is usually based upon his life experiences, education, and his dreams. He is the navigator of his ship and the captain. Please note, there are never two captains on a ship. There is, however, a co-captain. It is in this role that a woman who wants a real man should learn to embrace. It is a complementary yet vital role that will be loved, admired, and respected by a real man. There are many times in life when a man's dreams and vision seems impractical, selfish, unrealistic, expensive, and downright foolish to a woman. Now, those are some bold words, I must say. Now, I did have a quick chat with Roxanne about this.
Okay.
Of course, the first thing she said was, "Who is this guy?"
Was there disagreement there?
Yeah, there was.
Wow.
Yeah, she then was asking that question, which a lot of people have asking, which is, why can't the woman be the captain of the ship? To be honest, Bae, I did try to explain it, but she wasn't listening. So I told her, well, look, I'm going to bring this to the show and let Bae enlighten you. So
Okay, so here's the floor is mine then. Okay, so let me go. I'm gonna go backwards. So to answer her question, a woman can be the captain of the ship. However, she probably won't have a real man in her life. She can have what I.
Okay, I hear what you're saying though.
I think everybody heard what you were saying.
Yeah.
I think everybody heard that.
Now we getting ready to get to the good part, fellas. We getting ready to spice it up here. So the reality is this: a woman can have whatever she wants. However, she has to understand that certain types of men, aka real men, aka alpha men, don't really follow suit. It's just the way that is. I don't get into the why should be. I just get into the reality of it. So so real for all the listeners. When I was coming up before I wrote the book, I was asking myself, what is a real man? Here in America, I don't know how it is in the UK. When I was a kid, all I used to hear when women were disgruntled with a man, they would try to demean and bemoan, "You're not a real man. I need a real man." And it was because they weren't taking care of their responsibilities in some capacity. They were irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. So real is an acronym. When I ask, what do women mean by real? Responsible, educated, ambitious, and loving. Those are the 4 qualities that I believe every woman is really looking for when they say they're looking for a real man. So to Roxanne's question, most of the time, the real man is going to have that vision that I speak about. And males, let's be real, guys. Most guys who are worth their salt, they think they are the leader of their life, of their family, and what they want to do. So in reality, what you start to see is you expect, as that real man, that alpha man, you want a woman who plays the co-captain complementary role that brings her wisdom, her education, her special skills, her nurturing skills, and we complement each other. It can't be 2 captains. So that's the easy way to explain it. I don't know where people don't really understand that perspective.
Okay, can I say something quickly?
Mm-hmm.
With regards to the captain. Do you remember when that ship bumped into the iceberg way back?
You talking about the Titanic?
Of course.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Allegedly, yeah. There was only one captain, and he was a man.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying, and I agree with that.
Now, I actually spoke to a friend of mine in America, in Arizona, and with regards to embracing, you said, and she said, he best learn to embrace a slap if he ever meets a real woman. Yes, that's what she said. That's exactly what she said.
Okay.
Is she single or is she married?
No, she's married.
Okay, and I would have to. I don't know what kind of man she's married to. I guess she's wearing the pants, quote unquote. Is that what it is? Ouch.
No, you see, it's a nice equal balance.
Yeah, come on. There's no equality. You know that. That's a fallacy.
Obviously.
He don't want to hurt his friend. That's all.
No.
Boom.
Let's be honest. Let's go around. Is there really total equality in any relationship?
I think that's a fair question. I think that is a fair question. You know, I know that in work and stuff like that,
right?
And in work, in sports, in most things, you need someone to lead.
That's right.
You know, I'm not saying that the others can't air their opinions, but at the end of the day, you need someone who leads, and that's why in all sports you have a captain.
That's right.
So it makes sense to me that in a relationship,
everywhere, Dre. We can't candy coat this. Everywhere there's a. I don't want to. It's even if it's 49-51. You know what I mean? It's always something. But I think that when it becomes relationship wise, we all get touchy. Women more than men, they get, because it sounds like us being chauvinistic. But I mean, if we're being honest, somebody's doing more giving and somebody's doing, you know, less taking. It's just the way it is.
I think that most men, you know, is going to shoot for that captain role, but not all women can be co-captains. You know, a person that's going to take up that helm when necessary in case the captain's down, sick, or whatever. That's what we're looking for. So it all depends on how you define, you know, real, because everyone's going to define it differently. You can say your interpretation of it and they're going to say it is. It's okay to have difference of opinion as long as we understand what we're disagreeing about.
Of course.
Well, I think that most women, if they're being honest, if they had to carry everything and be in that captain role, because let's be honest, I'm going to be honest, the women I talk to, they've been carrying in America. Let's talk with the breakdown of the family. So a lot of the pushback I've gotten is women, they get offended. Some women, not all, some, because they run the household, because maybe by default, their husband or their boyfriend or whomever, father wasn't around, their man was in jail. Whatever, they're making the money, they're the breadwinner, they're taking care of things. However, as the years are going on, I'm hearing many women say, you know what, I would love a man to take over, quote unquote, handle things. And again, this is not about putting anybody in bondage. Women are way in the back and they just in the kitchen with none of that. I said co-captain, complement each other. But I hear a lot of women say, hey, it's tough being the leader. That's what I hear. And they're looking for that guy. So my point was going to be the woman who wants to be in the forefront and they want their man to stay, I guess, be the co-captain. A lot of women I know don't even respect those kind of men. That's just the truth. If they're calling all the shots,
right.
Period. I haven't seen those types of women really be happy. They always disrespecting their guy in some form or fashion. That's just been my experience, and many people that I've spoken to, men who have come to me behind closed doors and say, yeah, you know what, babe, you're right about
behind closed doors.
No, they're not going to say it in front of their wives, but they'll tell them.
Well, in which case, he's not a real man. If he can't say it in front of his wife, he's not a real man.
Well, you know, that's where we're going with it.
So what's wrong with both men and women in a healthy relationship sharing this captain role?
Like I said, I think I answered that question. I think that as a complementary player, most men, most alpha men, when I say real, T says something about you know, people might have their different ideas about what real men are. Again, I think it's very clear: real, responsible, educated, ambitious, and loving. Those are the things. Now, somebody will say, babe, well, that's just your interpretation. But when you ask about what a great man really, the complexities of a good man, a real man, I think that's what it's about. A man that's handling his business responsibly, taking care of his family responsibilities, financial responsibilities, educated. Doesn't always have to be university, college. It could be street smarts, a combination of all. You can get a certification, whatever is going to keep you afloat and make you maneuver the right way in the 21st century. We hear, let's just be real about the ambitious. Most women that I've talked to in my long lifespan have been saying, hey, he's not ambitious enough. Let's give a lot of credit to the women. They're getting very educated out here. They got more education. They're making a lot of money. A lot of times in the black community, the black men are making less than the black women. And that might be from continent to continent. I'm not really sure. I know in America, it's starting to become a real wide gap. But the ambition is what women really say men don't have a lot of it here in America. So an ambitious man is important. And then the love, let's be real, all relationships center around love. That's the nucleus of all of this stuff. So you can have responsibility and all that other stuff, but you got to love your woman emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. So that's what it's about. And I just don't really see, guys, where the rub is with what I'm saying in this. I think that if you could take your emotions out of it and just hear where I'm saying respectfully and really, I think that people will say, you know what, babe, makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so what about the visions and dreams of the women?
They can have. What about it? Let me ask you. I don't want to keep rambling. What about it? You have to be more specific.
No, I mean, you're saying that the man has to have these dreams and the goals, and and what women are just follow suit.
No. So I'm gonna answer your question. When you're a loving man, when you're a real man and a loving man, you're going to embrace the dreams of your woman. You're going to make sure that you find the space to make sure she gets to live and fulfill her dreams within that relationship. So the answer to that is just that. This is not a me thing. This is about a real man who's going to understand his woman has her own goals, ideas, and ambitions, and he's looking to incorporate that. This is really just like Andre said, and like I was saying, it has to be some type of understanding about the levels. I don't even like to use the word hierarchy because it sounds like the man is here. But I mean, I'm just trying to be. I'm not trying to be too politically correct here. I think that's most men that I'm speaking of, myself included. I'm looking for a woman that's going to complement me primarily, and I'm going to compliment her. But it's not going to be 50-50. Somebody, like, I'll give you a great example. You guys are in London. Suppose you guys, and this is a question for Roxanne because I know she's been tapped in. Suppose her man wants to live in London, but she wants to live in Manchester. Her man has a great career in London, and he's like, "Hey, babe, the family's got to be situated here. What do you do?" Now, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, we'll bounce." How far is London from Manchester? Is that like at least an hour or two away?
At least, yeah.
So my point is, what is that couple going to do? Who's going to win that quote unquote? Now, I hate to say win, but whose way is going to prevail?
Yeah, fair point. I have to admit, I rate Babe because
you're laughing over there, Trey.
Yeah, no, I rate him because there's a lot of comments that I got back which were negative towards the
concept,
the page,
the idea.
No, I'm pretty sure that they're on the Facebook page. For some reason, they're not coming here. Can I ask, where do they make these men? And where can I purchase one, please?
The East Coast. The East Coast.
The East Coast.
I love these conversations, though, fellas, because again, I think that I always encourage women to step back and take a step back. It's not about being a chauvinist. This is about, do you want a real man that's going to handle his business? Real men come with certain characteristics. That's really where I was going with this. Really, the man that's making the money, that's handling his business, he's going to have a lot of alpha characteristics. Usually, you're really going to find a more soft-spoken, laid-back general, so to speak. I mean, I look at this like even war. Life is war to me, and you have to have commanders in chief, generals, and usually they're going to come with certain characteristics, is all I'm really saying. Now, when I write these books, I tell women all the time, their role is vital. The issue, it seems to be that I think I guess they're hearing something that I'm not saying. They don't think that their role is important. I don't know. I mean, I wish we could have some women on here because they feel like, well, babe, you make it seem like this, that. No, I'm not making it seem like anything.
Hey,
I said a
Easy.
co-cap.
Yeah, T.
Back to your question about the woman's dreams, right? I think
Uh-huh.
that anybody in an equal relationship would, have that conversation and work out the logistics of how to make that happen. Let's say that they both work 9 to 5 and one of them wants to go back to school to get their doctorates or whatever. You have to figure out how you're going to make that happen. And then, whoever you decide to go first, they make that happen for them. And then they would, uphold the responsibilities that their partner did for them when it's time for them to pursue what they want. So it's all about having that conversation, setting up goals, routing up the logistics of how to make that happen and continue everything and make that better. So without that, you're not going to have equality in a relationship. And that's when it starts to tilt and you get a lot of these, crazy situations that you see on social media or the news every day.
All right, let me quickly read this out. In psychology, we call that androcentric. Half of the population is women, yet he is writing as if life and everything pertaining to life is centered solely around men. Ridiculous. Why does he think he has the authority to tell women how to attract a man? Who gave him the authority? Where are his credentials, his degree? Not all women can be boiled down to simply being support acts to some man.
Well,
And
see, that's a
from
very
Robin and
emotional
JHP listener.
statement. That's a very emotional statement.
Babe.
No, I'm gonna keep it real. That's a very emotional statement.
And it's a good thing you're over there when you're keeping it real.
No. But I love this. I'm built for this. This is why I wrote the book. This is not for the faint of heart. The bottom line is, nobody said that soliloquy that was just read. That's very not what I'm saying. I never said it was centered around a man. I specifically say this was a complimentary. We're complimenting one another. That's what I said. It's not just about the man. But again, Big T said something. I hear what he's saying. It sounded very, we can say a lot of things, guys, but I like to deal with the facts. I like to look at what is really happening on the ground. We can use all these fancy terms. We can say everything should be 50-50. I've never seen anything in life that was 50-50. Nothing. So I'm just going to leave my point because you guys can chime in on that. If everybody's sitting here and saying everything they've ever done from work, school, marriage, friendship was 50-50, I'm going to question that because I've never seen that.
No, personally, no, I can't. I must agree with that. We know that in all things there is an imbalance in power. We know that in anything that involves working together, there has to be, and that's reality, there has to be someone who makes the final decision. I've been in groups where you try to talk everything out and you can talk for hours and not get anywhere. There has to be someone in charge at some stage to take the lead. So I fully agree with that and a lot of the things that you said. So got to respect you to do that. But let me ask one question though. What about, do you think a real man, who I think you said is similar, if not the same as an alpha man, can he settle with an alpha woman?
That's very, very difficult. Very difficult. And I'm going to be totally transparent. I'm challenged right now in my current relationship because so when I say honestly,
ain't you just
now? Well, go ahead, Easy. Let me hear you.
No, ain't you being honest?
I'm being very
honest. Right now, you're being challenged in your relationship.
I'm being challenged, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
And where is she right now?
Oh, she's at home right now. So technically, I just left. As a matter of fact, I have a girlfriend. We have separate dwellings. And
she's setting up a drive-by.
She sounds a lot like Roxanne at times. You know what I mean? Truth be told, no, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm being real because she's very she's educated. She's making good money. She's beautiful. So in her world is, well, shit, I'm all of that in a bag of chips too. You not, I can do this just like you can do it. And what I always say And the world is not fair, guys. When I write these books and I talk about this, let's be honest. I'm not trying to deny women their place in anything. What I'm saying is the world is not fair. If you want Idris Elba, if you want Denzel Washington, if you want Michael Jordan, you're going to have to understand the characteristics that come with those men. And you're fooling yourself if you think that he's not going to think he's the king in some capacity. He has his queen, but there's going to be a mindset. And that's all I'm saying. And here's the truth. There are women, if the women who do want to, quote unquote, be the leader, be the captain, and have their man be the co-captain, they're usually not with the guys that I just mentioned. That's just the truth. Now, it's not, everything is not 100% of anything. I'm talking about a broad spectrum. But again, this is, all you got to do is look at your own history. Now, back to his question, alpha to alpha is very difficult and almost impossible. And I guess I like challenges, Dre, and I like to try the impossible. So we'll see what happens.
I hear that.
Yeah,
So,
we'll try and get at the studio alive.
Let me just quickly read out one of the another JXP listener. She says, Bay, I like your answers, referring when women are forced to head their ship. Yep, he ain't a real man. He is possibly my handbag.
There you go. Thank you, Audrey. That's real talk. And this is what I love when women respond like this, because real women know, true women know that if they're really running, and I hate to say running things, but they're always in charge, they don't respect a man that they have to think for 24 hours a day, make all the decisions. They're not looking for that. They're looking for balance. And that's what I say. There has to, and I agree with Easy. It's about balance. But even in balance, it's not an equal balance. There's a little, like I said, even if it's 51-49 and
60-40.
60-40. It could be, I mean, but again, a real man, I like to hammer this home, ladies. No real man is love. L is for love. If the man loves you, he's going to respect your dreams. He's going to respect your ambitions. But it's going to come a point where he's probably going to want to make that call. Like I said, if it comes down to Manchester and London, he's probably going to expect you to make that compromise somewhere. And then on the back end, he'll try to make it up to you somewhere because he's looking for what he thinks is best for the family. A real man is not just looking for himself. He's thinking about everything. That's the truth.
Okay. So can a real man settle down with a woman who's earning more than him?
Again, if he's real, he can. But then it becomes how that woman values that, uses how she approaches him and views him, and how she treats him in that situation. Now, if she's making, let's say 100K and I'm making 70K, as long as the respect is there, a real man should be able to handle that.
For sure. Man, we put you through we put you on the
ringer there.
And you
I think I'm winning you guys over. It's making a lot of sense, right, fellas?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, again, I love the ladies, man. You know what I mean? And again, I know what I say is not popular, but like I said, when I wrote this book and I do these seminars that I go around the country in America, hey, this has been about really having honest dialogue. Because truthfully, it's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering. I see a lot of unhappy women. I see a lot of lonely women. I see a lot of women who are pining for what I consider a real man. And again, real is responsible, educated, ambitious, and loving. And if women are honest with themselves and just like don't get so fired up by what seems as, it's all about the man, that's what women are looking for. Somebody who's going to be responsible and take care of them, their family, not by himself. I'm talking about collectively, but he has to carry his weight. A lot of women are carrying the weight and they're sick of it. Educated. So many women have gone to university and college, have doctorates, have all these degrees. Most men, a lot of men, and that's what I'm talking about, the real men. So we have to also understand, I'm not talking about just all men, real men. We got to get our education level up. I'm a college graduate. I have a degree in business, and I studied psychology in college. Ambitious. I'm totally ambitious. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't need to say, anytime anybody's an entrepreneur, that's ambition right there. And love. Through love, you have to show it, you have to feel it, you have to be it. Again, this is about psychological, emotional, all of that. It has to encompass all of that. You have to take care of your woman. I believe in a family structure. If you can get the good balance between man and woman and child, that's the best thing. I'm not about pro man with no women. God, in my opinion, in my belief, God did not make man and woman to be separated. They made us to be together, but there has to be some type of understanding in this. That's where I'm at with it, fellas.
Yeah.
Preach.
Right. Hi, and
Preach.
welcome back to
Yeah.
Something for the Weekend.
All right, look.
Yep, I'm
I'm
still
getting
here
the
with
nod.
Bay, Easy,
Getting
and
look from the
BigT,
producer.
and we
Looks like
were
we gotta go to a
discussing
commercial break.
Bay's
Okay.
book, How
Yeah.
to Attract
So,
a Real Man.
see you
So
on the
yeah,
other side.
if I had a hat, I'll take it off, Bay, because yeah, you stood your ground. You answered a lot of questions. And unfortunately, it looks like we were getting lots of messages through on my Facebook page. So
Oh, okay.
so apologies to the people. Yeah, because a lot of the messages we didn't get a chance to read out. So I'm not sure if they're going to come through now or not. And what do you think? Do you think that you've sort of spent enough time in the spotlight?
Hey, you know what? You referring to me, Dre?
Yeah, for sure, man. You're the one who's been in the spotlight for the
I
last
know.
20 minutes.
Hey, man, like I said, I ain't trying to hog it all up, man. Like I said, you guys chime in, Brent. I mean, the bottom line is I know it's my book and I put it out there. And again, it's just a guide, man. This is about bringing men and women together. I mean, I don't know how you guys see, like on YouTube, there's something called the manosphere. So it's pretty interesting. Like this book is a few years old now, but the mindset is tried and true in the philosophy. But the manosphere speaks about a lot of disgruntled men now. I mean, you may have heard of guys like Kevin Samuels and others. I mean, this is kind of, my book was written a few years back, and now what you're seeing with the manosphere, a lot of guys are fed up with how they think women are responding and their expectations on things. So it's a whole mess out here right now, guys. So it's very interesting because though a lot of women on first sight and hear they disagree with what I'm saying, I think the ones that like a Audrey who chimed in, they really get where I'm going with this. But it's interesting, a lot of men are pushing back on a lot of, I guess, what they call alpha females and the mindset that it's all about what women think they want to run the show, quote unquote. It's about, it's our time and we're not taking a back seat to a man. So there's a lot of pushback on both sides.
Sure. Not only that, I think society now is pushing guys to be, I don't know, more understanding of women than. Well, let me just read this out. I agree with the man Bay. Well, I'm definitely the captain of my ship. However, the admiral is my wife, Stella. And I can try to captain as much as I try. I'll never wear the admiral's trousers. I'm about 5 sizes too big to fit in my beautiful wife's size 8s. And that's Brian Limmerman. Great feeling. Yeah, that's great to hear from him. Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't think comparing a marriage to a ship is a good comparison. Sure, there can be only one captain, but when you're married, you're supposed to become one. I've been married for 22 years. If I was trying to captain this ship with her being an equal captain, we would have crashed this ship already. And that's from Joey, B3F. So,
Joey.
I think a lot of us know who Joey is.
What's up, Joey?
So what's he saying there?
I don't know.
Is he saying that he agrees with Bay? What is he
I don't think so.
But he ended off by saying that
it's got to be a balance. It's got to be a balance. Yeah, it's got, you got to be pulling the same way.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that there is I use the word co-captain, complementary. I think people kind of take that the way they take it. I truthfully, guys, I'm beyond at this point, the nuances. I don't get, I mean, I make my point. I think I'm very concise and clear where I go with this, with my philosophy. I think sometimes you can get lost in the nuances and the weeds of stuff. It's kind of like we're all trying to say the same thing, but then this one thinks a little this way, that way. So, to each his own. This is not a perfect science by any form or fashion.
Of course.
But, I think that there's been a history You know, there's metrics to show, and I think Andre touched on it. Can alphas be with alphas? I think that's the hardest challenge. And again, I was very forthright when I said that's even a challenge for me. Now, truthfully, like I've been asked questions, well, why aren't you married? I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I was married for 15 years. And so let me just be very honest. The reason why I'm not married anymore is because the woman, my ex-wife, wanted to go her own way differently than I thought that the ship should go. And so I had to make a decision. You understand? So I'm being very frank and just putting it out there. Yeah. We were going one direction. Now, here's the other nuance. She wanted to go with her parents. We were in New York City, okay? Her parents were retired. They moved to Florida. There's no financial opportunity in Florida for most people. That's a retirement state. However, because she was my wife and I loved her, and she supported a lot of my ambitions and dreams early on in the relationship, I decided as a real man, it was good for me to try to give my wife something she wanted, even though I thought it was a mistake financially, and many people warned me not to do it. So we got down there, we just had our baby, right? So I'm trying to be supportive of my wife, let her be with her family.
Sure.
I couldn't make the money down there after a few months. Something that I had fell through. Okay. After a few months of trying to make it go, I had to go back north. And so I had to head back north, leaving my family behind. Now she was good because she had her parents and they could help her with the baby as we got settled into the home in Florida.
Right.
A few months in, 6 months in, I said, hey, I don't think we can make it down here. She didn't want to work anymore. Okay. She wanted to sell real estate, but she had a regular job in New York. 6 months. Bottom line is she didn't want to go. She wanted to be, she said something to me. Oh, my parents are getting older. Bop, bop, bop. I'm like, hey, sweetheart, I understand all that, but we just had a newborn baby and my son, I can't be out here making no money, you know, and I'm not going to be taking handouts from your father and your mom, you know, so the bottom on making, 2 cents on the dollar. So I said, I think it's best for us to go back north, because we can make more money. She didn't want to do it. Long and short of it, guys, I had to make the hardest decision I ever made as the captain of my ship. And I said, long term, it's better for me to leave. And it broke my heart to do it. But that's a pure example of my own wife not wanting to go on the trajectory that I thought as the captain of the ship we should go after trying to accommodate her. Okay, so that's where we were.
You jumped ship basically.
No, I didn't jump ship. I changed course.
Jump ship. I love that. Let me quickly read this out for the people who are on the radio and can't see these comments. So no, this is from Joey, the B3F podcast guy. No, there is not total equality in a relationship, just like we said.
Equity.
There are areas in the relationship that sway towards one person and others that sway towards the other person, which makes perfect sense to me. In all, somewhat equals out in the end. If I is in a healthy relationship, equality, not equity. Okay. And that's from Joey from 3P. Okay. Interesting stuff. All right, I'm sure that there's quite a few more comments out there, but we might have to leave it there and touch on something else.
There we go.
For sure.
Can I just say something? Course,
Bay, that's what we're here for. Chat, man.
Yes,
talk.
Bay, you handled yourself admirably. Seriously, man. You just held it down. You were in the gladiatorial arena. And you slew everybody. You slayed everybody in front of you. You did.
Oh,
I must admit, because when I got the segment, I was like, "What?" From your book, I was like, "What?" Because I've got the book.
I've
got the book, and I must admit, when I'm heading to work, I didn't look at that book because I don't want to shout out on the bus and act the fool and get thrown off the bus, what have you, for something you said. But you know what? sitting here tonight with you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you said, you're just keeping it real. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. You're keeping it real. So you know what? respect to you for that. Seriously,
Hey man,
respect
I
for you.
appreciate it. Hey, it's a tough job. Hey, trust me, man. The fire and brimstone, like in an audience full of women, you can imagine the hostility.
Did you say that you've done talks, Bay?
Yeah. So I do
Yeah,
panels and stuff like with the radio stations, like T would know WHUR in Washington D.C. You know, I've done stuff with Harold Fisher, Audrey Chapman, a lot of the radio stations, New York. You know, I do different things, and what they do is they bring me on to these panels, and we have conversations based around, you know, my philosophies and my theories and where I get this stuff. And I'm very candid. Like I said, you know, women ask me, well, why ain't you married? And what happened to this? And, you know, you get all of that. And you have to be, like Easy is saying, you got to be ready to stand in there and take the fire and brimstone. And again, I like using my personal experiences because it lends credence to my philosophy and what I'm saying. And I'm very transparent even in this one. Like Andre brought up alpha to alpha. Right now, that's the main challenge because truthfully, I always felt that it doesn't work. And for the most part, it doesn't. And again, because I guess I like to challenge myself and things. And, you know, it's a process. And we live separately. And let me be real transparent. I told her this and I said, hey, if we can't get on the same page, this shit ain't going to work. You know what I mean? Because I'm not, you can't, you know, when you say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Now, in being a real man, trying to be loving, I'm trying to massage some things. I think like T and Easy, you know, you try to get that equity, you know, you try to finesse it and try to be as fair and equal as possible. But there's certain fundamental philosophies and beliefs that men and women have that if it just doesn't jive, you're going to have to go different directions. It's just that simple. Otherwise, you'll be arguing forever.
So you see your partner, your girlfriend now. Does she have a gun permit?
She actually wants me to take her to the range, and I've been sneaking off without her. Truthfully, I told her I don't believe in having beautiful women with guns. I just don't believe it.
What? I mean, if she can shoot better than you.
Hey, we're not gonna find that out.
Hey, let me just quickly read out this message, guys. I totally agree with this message, and I would encourage this message being put out to everyone who is thinking of teaming up marriage with someone long term. Well, you see, I hear and see a lot of ambitious people's ideas get shot down by their partners for various different reasons. And even if the partner does continue to head towards their vision, the other half is constantly discouraging the ideas and then waiting for that person to fail to really drive home that it should never have been done. Interesting.
Who said that?
Interesting.
That happens a lot.
That's from that was from Amma. Yeah. I've read that bit. So I agree with the aspects of the statement. It's good to have a strong man with a vision, but what does that entail? What is the role of a co-captain? Should she be subservient? I don't think Bay ever said she should be. Or can she have a career? Again, I'm pretty sure you're saying she can. And that's from Claire. Okay, a JXP listener. That's great hearing from you, Claire.
Thanks, Claire. I mean, again, you know, that's what I mean. When you start getting into those words, those are demeaning words, subservient. I never say all of that. So, you know, with all due respect, I don't like to delve deep into stuff that I haven't verbally said or written on paper. I think I'm very clear and concise with what I say, and I don't believe in subservience. Now, again, to be fair, some women will say, you know, the philosophy may be somewhat chauvinistic, archaic, but this is when I go back to guys, human nature doesn't change. I think we like to fool ourselves that people can change all the time. I mean, you can make little changes and adjustments, but I'm talking about fundamental core human nature and values of women and men. You ever see the book from John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? I take that very literal because that's the truth. A lion has been around for 1 million years in the jungles of Africa. He ain't changing, and she ain't changing. That's just the way lions are. And I think men and women have fundamental things about each other that's never going to really change, especially when you talk about alpha and beta. And that's just where it is. So I think that the big picture is whatever works for whoever. See, the thing about this is what I always walk away with the ladies. Do whatever works for you. I'm just trying to because what I hear and see is a lot of unhappy women. So if a woman can tell me that they disagree with my philosophy, which is fine, but Then I ask them the same questions they ask me. Are you married? What's the dynamic in your relationship? How long have you been single? And why is that? And see, until they can answer those questions honestly, like I answer them, then, I really don't, I kind of say, okay, yeah, nice to meet you. Because, let's be honest about this. You know what I mean? I'm honest. You got to be honest.
For sure.
Oh,
right.
you're brutally honest. You are
Let
brutally
me
honest.
just read this out, and I'm going to ask one more question.
Brutally.
Then we've got to move on.
Okay.
So it says here, I agree with what he says. Ooh, the woman is the co-captain. The definition of co itself means alongside, at equal to. So a real man is also the co-captain and will support a real woman in her dreams and aspirations. That's from Danny.
Nice
JXP
job,
listener.
Danny.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. That's what it is, man.
All right. Okay. So my last quick question before we move on. My question is this: as you get older, Bay, if you, for whatever reason, are still single, would you sort of, I don't know, review your ideas? Not even review, but would you maybe dilute them? Would you not consider
compromise,
not being so stringent with your views?
Well, you know what?
I mean, at the end of the day, you said it yourself. The whole idea is that man and woman are together. If your views are not stopping you, but becoming in the way of you cementing a long-term relationship, would you not consider reviewing those views?
I think that's a great question, Andre, and I'm actually doing that as we speak. Because let's be honest, the world is changing, and it has changed, and it's continuously changing, and it's starting to become. If we look at everything that's happening in the social world, and I'm giving you the roundabout, I'm gonna tighten it up. But to answer your question is yes, but it would have to bring real value. So in any relationship, in order for me to change my fundamental philosophies, I'd have to see the real add value in that and take into consideration that the world is changing. So I may have to be somewhat flexible or just go, just go with, I guess, whatever fundamental truth that I have. But in that woman, where she may be, let's say, a beta female and not an alpha female, there are things that I may lose and add value because I've just solely based it upon a woman just quote unquote doing whatever I think I want to do, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, okay, great. Because I was wondering if you was going to say no matter what. So yeah, my man, I have to admit, always gives the right answers. So yeah, respect to that. Respect. All right, so yeah, let's move on, man, because I think Bay's been on the spotlight enough. Who knows, Bay? Maybe again, I keep saying this. When we do another program, if we do one of these a month, maybe we can pick another page in your book and we can discuss that. I don't know if it would.
Man, there's a lot of commentary there, man. We can go. I got a litany. This is what it was made for. So you just pick a topic and we can go, because there's a lot of juicy things to discuss that I'm sure is going to cause a lot of banter.
Ding ding.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll pick a page for the next program as well. But for now, I think let's talk about something else. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I want to talk about the N word, bro. The N word.
Yeah.
You I'm gonna guys let T handle that.
All right.
yeah. You better take a sip of a drink.
That's it.
Bay, I think yeah, you must be good. It's right. So yeah. All right. So yeah, T, you guys. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. You guys appear to love the N word, man. You guys seem to use it quite a lot. So I just want to know what's your views on that. Why is that? And I guess in a nutshell, do you not think that that's maybe a little disrespectful to your parents even? I'll even say that. Because I'm assuming, I know Martin Luther King, and in those days, in the 60s, they were fighting against the fundamentals, things like using the N-word. And now here we are using that word willy-nilly. Do you not think that maybe there's something a little wrong, at the very least, a little ironic in that?
Well, I wouldn't say love, that's a strong word, but you can't stop somebody from saying something, but you can change what the power of that word means to you. So instead of letting that word affect us, we took it and we made it our own. So when people say that word, it isn't what it used to mean. And that's why you can say it. I ain't gonna say you can say it. Well, most people say it without impunity, because we flipped it and made it not nothing, hurtful, but something more endearing. we took its power away, and that was the point of us, even saying it still to this day, because once you let something as small as 5 letters, control your emotions and dictate your actions, then saying you're no longer an individual, you're a puppet, in my opinion. So yes, it comes off wrong because people don't know how to interpret it. Everyone's misunderstood until they're understood. You know what I mean?
I hear that. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
What's mm-hmm?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm
Do you agree
listening.
with that?
Nah,
Well, then,
no.
talk,
You know,
talk,
that.
bro.
I don't. You know my feelings on this word.
Well, that's
I hate
why
the word.
I asked you. Yeah.
The word. The word is. The word was meant to dehumanize us and belittle us and just make us feel rotten. Make us feel like we're nobody. And we've taken the word and flipped it. Why that word? Do you know what I mean? Why that word? Of all the words in the English dictionary, why that one? We've been called ape and this word and spook and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. And that word right there is the top insulting word that can ever be thrown at a black person.
I'm guessing that's why they grabbed it.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And then we in turn flip it so that we can use it as a greeting. I have a hard time with that.
So
I have a hard time with that, T.
So
I do.
Freedom of speech is worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least it should be, right? So we can't prevent anyone from saying any word. You can counsel them from saying it or whatever, however you want to handle it, but you can't block someone's freedom of speech. So since we can't eradicate the word, we can't eradicate history, we can't rewind the clock, we can't get those 400 years back, what can we do? We can control how we respond to something, or we could take the power away from it. I'm not saying that I approve of the idea, but it's better than sit back and letting someone else control your life. So it's not a deterrent, it's an alternative. So instead of, someone flipping out, someone being over emotional at hearing that and lashing out at every person that says it, it's like, okay, well, here's another option. And that's what they're doing. I'm not saying it's the perfect plan, and I'm not making excuses on, why it would happen, but that's what it is. It's just like, people driving electric cars and people driving, gasoline cars.
Mm-hmm.
It would be smart if we were all in a situation where we could switch from, electric from gas. But we're not in that position yet. Same as this. That word hasn't disappeared. So this is what we got for now. So 20 years from now, something might replace it. And I'm not saying something negative, but something might replace that greeting, that slang, that term that we use. You know what I mean? And it might have nothing to do with its original, connotation. So if anything, I would call that progress opposed to us, being back and in the situation we were 60 years ago.
Okay. All right. So you said earlier on, T, you said one of the reasons why you guys use it because it no longer means what it used to mean. You've taken its power away. So I guess my question is this: if a white person in the US calls you the N-word, are you now okay with that?
Well, I'm assuming you mean the hard R. So hard R is different. It's different from the A.
Okay, yeah. I'm talking about the hard R. I've never heard it pronounced called like that, but yeah, the hard R. Yeah.
Well, to be quite honest with you, in my 30 some odd years of my life, I've never heard it pass from a white person's lips around me. So I don't know how it would affect me personally. I've only seen it on TV or in books and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
You don't know
So
how it would affect you, bro.
I say I haven't experienced it myself.
No, I
But
know. Even though you haven't experienced it, you must have an idea, mate, how it's going to affect you. If you're on the way home today and someone shouts that out to you across the road and then walks up to you and says it again, you must have an idea how that's going to affect you.
Uh-huh.
I know how it's going to affect me then, and it all
And
depends
how's
on
that
the
going to affect you?
it's going to piss me off. But depending on my atmosphere is how I'm going to react. And by that I mean, if there's any security cameras, I can react one way. If there's not any security cameras, I'm going to react the other way. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
It's surrounded by a group of white men and one of them says it, then what you gonna do?
Exactly.
No, let me ask a question to Tito. But if a white person comes to you and say, "Yo, what up, my nigga?" with the A, how do you feel about that?
Me
So who you asking
personally,
it to?
I'm
asking it to T.
I'm gonna check them. Number one, and then two, you got to treat it like you in jail. You know what I'm saying? What's your history? And why do you feel comfortable saying that? And do you realize that you're in front of a person that might not, understand that you grew up in this certain society or certain whatever, and not a lot of people are going to understand or comprehend your reason behind choosing that particular word. So I'm not going to just pop off. I'm too old for that. But what I will do is
you're never too old for that, T. You're never too old to pop off.
all depending on the situation.
There is an age, bro, when you got to take a different approach.
When you're a grown up, when you're an adult, you have responsibilities. There's certain things you can't throw to the wayside.
Okay.
Now, if that person, say that to my mother, then I don't care about anything else, because that's like disrespecting my child or my wife. These are people that you will die for. You know what I mean?
Yep. You will club him to death like he's a baby seal.
Exactly. So
exactly.
The situation dictates a response, in my opinion, and I think that's for most logical thinking people, and that's why I spoke on it earlier about letting your emotions control you of someone else's words. Because if that one word can trigger you to just jump, because they could be baiting you in, what I'm saying?
Of course.
So you gotta flip the script on them sometime, because they expect you to act like people did back in the day and be enraged. With cell phone technology these days, oh man, they got you kirking out in 4K.
For sure. Look,
okay.
What's talk easy? Go ahead.
Yeah. What this thing? This thing. Kendrick Lamar, when he popped up.
Okay.
You heard when he had the young white girl. He called the white girl on stage and had her doing the rap to one of his songs, and the N word is in the song, and she said it. She's just enjoying herself on stage, and she drops it, and he pulls her up and says, "Look, you can't say that." Crowd got a bit, rebellious about it. And was he right to do that, considering he actually put the word in the lyrics?
Okay, so it's 2021, and we've seen plenty of shows when people are reciting rhymes from famous rappers. I'm talking about stuff that's almost 30 years old, and they know that you should either pause, leave the word out, or not, not dictate it at all. You can just go, and people know exactly what you mean, because in these day and times, and it's really been like that for the past couple hundred years, that's going to get you, checked or popped or whatever. So it's really, that was really I don't want to say a form of ignorance, but technically it was, from not knowing your situation. You think you're going to hop on the stage with a famous hip hop artist and think they're going to let you slide just because you're a fan? No, they don't let us slide when it comes to anything. So especially you in this arena, you know what I'm saying? Don't just jump out there and think that it's cool, because it's not. So it's all about boundaries. It's all about education. It's all about, doing your research. No one just goes skydiving and jumps out of a plane without instructions, right?
For sure. All right.
I'm just saying.
Okay, look, you you mentioned that the reason why you use the word is to take away its power, and it no longer means what it used to mean. But you then went on and stipulated the difference between the A and the hard R.
R.
So now it's almost like they're actually two separate words. You guys are using
It's
an
a
offshoot of the
spelling
word,
bee. It's a
but you're
spelling
not
bee. That's what
actually
it is.
you're not actually even using the word. So you haven't actually taken away the power from the word because you haven't even actually used the word. You've just taken a derivative of it. That's how it appears to me. Am I mistaken?
Right. Well, here's how. Let me jump in here. So I understand where you guys are coming from. Me personally, I try not to use it anymore, and I've used it obviously growing up in America. That's what we do. However, as I've gotten older, I try not to. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't like the double standard. Here's the thing: with black people, everything goes, but in other races, you can't use certain terms in the Jewish community or the Hispanic community or whomever's community. So I'd like to see us take it away. Period. It's never gonna happen. But the ER, the A, we tried to turn it like T said. I agree with him. We tried to take the power and make it a term of endearment amongst ourselves. However, where white fans and other fans across the world, since hip hop is a global factor, they lose themselves today in thinking we've made it good and customary and okay for them to feel comfortable to say it. I don't like that because what I've heard from Caucasians, Europeans, others, well, why can't we say it? Y'all say it. Then it becomes this back and forth. Well, y'all say it. Why can't we? My thing is, everybody knows there's a code of conduct in everybody's racial cultures and backgrounds, but somehow that gets forgotten when it comes to the word nigga. So the bottom line is, to be fair, if black people are saying it in their rhymes and white kids, and then you got black kids in school saying, oh, that's my nigga, they'll call a white guy, that's my nigga. And then he'll turn around, little Johnny will say, that's my nigga back. Today's generation, they don't see it like we may see it. And I think that's a mistake only because there's no fairness and balance. Because if you go into another community and say what's deemed a derogatory term, though you might be trying to use it as a term of endearment, they may not see it the same way. As a matter of fact, they won't see it the same. So unless it's going to be across the board fair, and I say we just need to get rid of the nigga for everybody because it's just the way it needs to be. But like T says, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
because it's just too far gone.
I didn't say it's never gonna happen. I'm just saying it's too early on.
Oh, okay.
Because that word is as old as baseball.
Right.
Not to just bring that up. Honestly, it is.
Actually, it's
probably a bit older, bro.
It's older than baseball. It's actually older than baseball. I checked. It's older. It's definitely older than baseball.
But fellas, to my UK guys, Easy and Andre. Like in America, Black Americans, it's kind of like we talked about Swan earlier. Black American, we try to do everything. We flip things. We remix it. We try to make what's bad cool and good, So like Swan, when we were slaves, they threw the worst of the food out there and we made it a cuisine, even though, and that's just the way. I'm just being real with you. So
you're absolutely right. You're right.
Chitlins and stuff like that. That was the garbage of the garbage.
Of course.
We've made something out of nothing, so to speak. And I think with that word, at least in my mind, that's how we tried to remix it and flip it and try to make it something that we can appreciate and be a term of endearment. I think it was misguided, but I think that's what had tried to happen. Kind of like trying to make, the worst part of the pig, the swine, into a cuisine. I mean, I'm just being real. That's how I see that.
So do you think America succeeded?
No.
What about you? What about you, T?
In a word,
I think that progress takes time. I think that with anything, especially minorities in America, we always given the lesser. We always consider less than. So we have to make do with what we have. So right now, our thing is, since we have to start from the bottom, or since we have to, be considered less than, we're going to make fun out of it. When you're broke and you're living in a one-bedroom apartment with no furniture, You pretend you got furniture and you do all types of things. That's like a guy who's entertaining a young lady and he doesn't have the best place. He's going to jazz it up and make it as best as possible until he's in a situation where he can provide a more luxurious space for him and his lady. You know what I mean? So we're making the best out of what we have, man. It ain't the greatest, but it's better than nothing. It's better than going back to being jailed for popping off on somebody just because they said the hard R or whatever.
Let me just quickly read out. Yeah, this is from Joey again, my man Joey from B3F podcast. Great guy. He says, speaking about Kendrick, that's an interesting thing because I think she shouldn't have said it, but I think Kendrick was purposely setting her up. Could be.
Nah.
That's from Joey. Yeah. Oh, what's this? In England, we are more likely to be called something behind our back or have racism entwined in politics and policy. Yeah, it's in the workplace, education, etc. Yeah, but not blatantly.
Oh, it's polite to say it behind your back opposed to in your face.
No,
Yeah.
Is it polite to say it behind your back?
Yeah. Oh, what did BigT say? Is it polite? Is what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he's asking, is it likely to happen?
No. Is it polite? Yes, T, because we're a very polite nation.
Yeah, that's where I know he's going. Everyone's talking about how polite
we're
the British are.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's the beautiful thing about this day and age when people speak how they feel, because at least who's going to stab you in the back or who's gunning for you or who's the person you don't, what I'm saying? Those people that hide behind, metaphorical masks, some literal ones, you know what I'm saying? Those are the people that are more dangerous than anything. So, say what you want, because I'd be glad when those people, they become famous, because these are the people who are sometimes in power that help push people, of color or minorities down, or anybody that, just looks different from them. So, hey, say what you want. Just remember what the response could be.
For sure. Yeah, and Audrey says, no, it's not. All right, look, we've got.
So,
15...
let me
go, Jay.
Yeah, let me ask quick. So what words are white people allowed to say that we can't?
What?
Say that again.
I said, what words are white people allowed to say that we can't?
What do you mean? Are you talking about what? Just words in general, or are you talking
No,
about derogatory terms
derogatory
towards black
terms. Yeah.
Well, my first answer to that would be there are no words. What kind of question?
There you go. I'm being silly. That's all. Leave it alone. Calm yourself, gentlemen. Calm yourself.
There's certain phrases that I believe black people shouldn't say, but not necessarily a particular word.
Okay, well, yeah, let me hear these phrases, man.
Yeah. Listen to the phrases.
Like screwed the pooch.
Screw the pooch.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that mean? What does that mean?
It means when someone made a mistake, but a lot of people hear that and who aren't logical, they think they had sex with a dog. You know what I'm saying? So screwed the
Okay.
Only Big T.
Oh dear. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you fully. That term shouldn't be used.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right. All right. Unless anyone else has got anything to say on that subject, I've got one more quick question.
All right.
I read somewhere that if you sleep out on your relationship, then condom sex doesn't count.
Then what?
Condom sex doesn't count. And the argument is, and this is what the guy said, if I wash my hands whilst wearing surgical gloves, have I really washed my hands?
Oh, good grief.
Really? What can I tell you, Bob? I read it.
All right.
So anybody wanna answer that for me?
You want a real answer or just a general?
Okay, I'll take it. It's not gonna fly then.
From my experience when it comes to relationships, honestly, I don't want to say just women, but people view cheating in many different ways. So emotional cheating, some people consider that worse compared to
Mhm.
physical cheating. But anytime that you know, you break that bond by, you know, swapping saliva with another person or anybody, or sharing intimate moments, can be considered cheating, even if it's like, you know, certain conversations, even though the physical act of, you know, sex never happened. A lot of people break up just off that, like admitting to that person that's not, you know, that's not your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, that you have feelings for
Mhm.
them. They consider that cheating because it was the thought. So it all depends on, you know, your relationship and what you consider cheating. Now, the whole, you know, raw sex versus gloved up sex thing, that's just, you know, that's one man's fantasy to try to make it happen. Don't get me wrong, you know, Houdini tried to get out of a lot of places, but he didn't make it out of his last trick. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a second. Houdini took a punch to the stomach.
yeah, but
He
then
didn't try to
yeah,
he didn't try to unpick a lock. He took a punch to the stomach when he wasn't ready. What's Houdini got to do with this? Houdini ain't got nothing to do with this.
oh, dear. So
Are you trying to say
interesting
you slept
what
with
just said
Houdini? Are you trying to say you slept with Houdini?
What? Come on, man.
Are you trying to say you slept with
That's a
Houdini?
big jump. That's a big jump.
Are we talking about the escapologists? Or are we talking about the rap group?
Oh man.
It's interesting that T, you said that about emotional. What's the term? You know, the difference between the emotional and the physical aspect, and that some people think the emotional aspect is as bad. Does anybody here think that someone who has, I don't know, emotionally cheated is as bad as physically doing it? Why's it gone quiet? Am I on my own?
No.
Oh.
Did you ask T or did you ask everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
I'm asking everybody.
All right. I think it's cheating. Without a shadow of a doubt.
But
it's cheating.
is it as bad as the physical aspects?
Yeah, because because feelings then come into feelings are into play. Feelings are in play with regards to it. So yeah, it's cheating. Yeah, there's no two ways about it.
All right. I think
Without a shadow of a doubt.
We could discuss it more.
Well, we can discuss it next time. But yeah,
that smile on your face, man.
I have a more broad answer. That's a topic for a different day. I believe monogamy is unnatural.
You believe that monogamy is what?
Unnatural.
You see, we actually had that chat. Easy. We actually had that chat, and I said the same thing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So you know that's something that we're going to bring up in one of our future shows.
But for the sake of this, I think cheating is cheating. A condom, no condom. It's all. If I come home to my girl and say, my woman and say, baby, you know, if she called me, I say, well, at least I had a condom on. I think I'm gonna get the same reaction of mass destruction. So,
Audrey says condom sex is worse than non-condom sex, as you planned and purchased the condom. Although there's men who just walk around in the.
You think?
Shout out to Audrey Haynes.
So you think if he went raw, it would have been better for him to come back to you with a little bit of her on him? Come on now.
The process behind the purchase, planned and acted out. Basically,
something for the
tells you, no matter what you do, bro, you're in trouble.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, he got something for the weekend. There you go.
Something for the weekend, exactly. You took that from me, T. You took that.
I look, man. We got 9 minutes left. So before we go, I'd like each of you to just give me your final thoughts on whatever it is you want to give me your final thoughts on. So T, what's your final thoughts, man?
First of all, I want to say, man, thank you for allowing me to be co-host on Something for the Weekend, man. This is rejuvenating and something for the soul, some people might say. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think that the differences between people is what makes us great. And we should always recognize that, you know, just because we don't look the same don't mean that we can't all agree. And at the end of the day, you know, we all the same color when the lights go out. So keep that in mind next time you have a conversation with somebody you don't necessarily agree with.
Love that. Love that. Easy. What's your final thoughts, man?
T just said it He put it succinctly. He put it. It was absolutely perfect. I could listen. T must have read my notes because exactly what I was thinking. He said word for verbatim.
Okay.
except for the with the lights out because I like to see what I'm doing. I like to see what I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh, you're a lights on type of guy.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. Listen, T. When I jump off the wardrobe, I got to see where I land. Okay, you know what I mean? Come on.
Oh man, hey, babe.
Hey,
what's your final thoughts, babe?
My final thoughts is this has been fantastic. Love the banter, love the differences of opinion and philosophies. What I like to challenge everybody to do is look deep within themselves. I mean, there's a lot of rhetoric out here across the world, man. We in cancel culture. There's a lot of different opinions and ideas, but I challenge every individual to look deep within themselves, ask themselves the tough questions, whether it's in personal life, work life. You gotta, life is changing. Life is hard. You got to ask yourself the tough questions and be ready to, maneuver and do things on the swivel now. And I think that there's no more time to lie to yourself out here, in any capacity. That goes for me and everybody else. Challenge yourself to look for the best ideas and move the way you need to move to be successful in this life. And one thing I always say is failing to plan is planning to fail. So that's my final thoughts.
Yeah, inspirational, man. Inspirational. Yeah, me. I just want to say thank you all for finding the time and agreeing to come together for this venture. I think it's a beautiful thing when a group of guys from different parts of the globe can get together, shoot the breeze, and harmonize for 2 hours over every and anything. So yeah, hopefully we can do this on a regular basis, guys. Yeah, maybe the last Sunday of every month.
Oh yeah,
And don't forget Chanter. Hey, Andre.
Yeah, that's what we do, man.
That's what I was just about to say.
I'm not going to take it back. That's what we do, man. We chanter.
Chanter.
That vibe between chat and banter. That's what we do.
You said give it 6 months and people want to keep repeating that.
Yeah.
Right, but don't be surprised if you start hearing that word being bantered around, it'll be chanted around.
I'll believe it when Kendrick Lamar puts in one of his lyrics.
Okay, I give you to April 29th. Let's see what happens.
All right. So of course, the very last question before we go: will any of you be requiring something for the weekend? Easy.
I just had it. Thank you very much.
What, right here while we was on the show?
Yeah, for the last 2 hours, I've been done over.
I'm covered.
I guess you'll be having a cigarette right after the show then.
I'm having a cigar. I'm having a cigar.
What about you, T? Any plans to have something for the weekend?
Oh, I'm already covered. Me and Easy, we got twin brains over here.
I thought you were saying that me and you got something.
See, there you go.
Yeah, no, this ain't no. Listen, this ain't no Billy. This is no Billy Paul moment. Let me tell you right now. Okay, we don't have a thing going on. This ain't no Billy Paul moment. Ease upon that.
Lovely. So about you, Bay? Dare I ask? Will you be requiring something for the weekend?
Oh man, I'm gonna sip a little cognac before I do that and check in on my son on FaceTime. That's what I'm gonna do and watch some American football. That's what I'm doing, man. So this
you mean handball? You mean handball?
Oh, handball, yeah.
Yeah. Football.
Right.
Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
Home of the original football. That's what he meant to say.
Hey, shout out. You know me being the bad boy indie soul. I'd be remiss if I didn't say a shout out to the ladies. I know ladies, I hope they're not too mad at me, but shout out to Audrey and Roxanne. Thanks for chiming in. And for all the ladies that we didn't get the shout out, that we didn't see the messages. Hope we catch you the next time.
What's that? Tracy, Christine.
Yeah. A lot of people who.
Yeah. They're doing
again, respect Starsky, Emma, a lot of people who wrote in. We didn't get a chance to read them all out, but
Joey
respect for doing that, and hopefully the end of next month you do that again. You'll contact us again.
No doubt.
And as for anything for the weekend, I'll be meeting up with Roxanne later tonight. But somehow I don't think I need anything for the weekend.
you need a fresh slap for that statement you just made.
I'm sure. But hopefully some of you will want something for the weekend before we go. So before we go, Bay, you're gonna say goodbye?
Hey, bad boy Indie Soul, Bay Bright signing off across the pond. You know I love you guys in the UK. Love the banter all around the world. USA was good. Soul Nostalgia. Check out that new record Love Zone off the Soul Nostalgia 3 EP and the book How to Attract a Real Man. Check me out. It's all over Amazon and everywhere music is sold and streaming and books are sold and streaming. That's it from me. Peace.
For sure. Easy.
Bay said everything I was going to say. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got an album in the book too? I didn't know that.
yeah. It's me, myself, and I. I call my book. It's me, myself. And I.
I told him I have something to say about that, but okay.
All right. What about you, T? How you going out?
Hey man, I just want to tell everybody check me out. My podcast, I Can't Make This Up. That's I Can't with a K. I'm streaming everywhere. You can also check out my YouTube channel, Land Over Legend Studios. So social media as well. I Can't Make This Up. That's I Can't with a K. Make This Up podcast. Thank you.
Great stuff. And before I go, thanks, Roxanne. I had a good time. Brilliant show, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes.
My name's Andre. This was Something for the Weekend. We're now going to cut and fade out. Good night, all. We're closing up shop.